Hey everyone, in this video, we'll uncover the most valuable Abraham Lincoln wheat penny you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these Lincoln wheat pennies so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. So let's get started. First up, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with D-Mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint, which produced over 266 million coins that year. It is part of the post-World War II era of wheat pennies, a time when the U.S. Mint was striking coins in huge numbers to meet the needs of a nation transitioning from wartime to peacetime. The coin being described here is said to have a red color shade, but is also in damaged condition with some scratches. These details tell us much about both its appearance and its market value. The year 1945 was historically important. World War II was ending, with victory in Europe in May and victory over Japan in August. During the war, the Mint had experimented with steel cents in 1943. But by 1944 and 1945, it had returned to copper alloy, using recycled shell casings from the battlefront. That gives these pennies a special connection to history. The very metal could have once been part of military equipment. The description of this coin notes a red color shade. In coin collecting, color is especially important for copper coins. Red indicates that the coin still retains much of its original mint luster and has not darkened fully to brown. Collectors prize red coins, and in higher grades they can command significant premiums. However, in this case, the coin is also described as being in damaged condition with scratches, which greatly limits the value despite the red shade. Damage can take many forms. Dents, bends, corrosion, or heavy marks and scratches are one of the most obvious signs that a coin has lost its natural appeal. In terms of grading, a damaged coin cannot be assigned a normal grade, like fine, very fine, or mint state, because the damage lowers it below collectible standards. Even if the details are sharp and the coin has red color, damage and scratches prevent it from achieving strong market demand. Collectors generally prefer problem-free coins, and damaged examples are often considered filler coins for albums. As for value, the 1945D wheat penny in average circulated condition is usually worth about 5 to 15 cents. In very fine to extremely fine condition, problem-free coins might bring 25 cents to $1. Uncirculated red coins from 1945D can sell for several dollars, with certified gems in MS66 or MS67 red reaching into the hundreds at auction. However, a damaged example, even with some red color, falls well below those levels. In today's market, a damaged 1945D penny with scratches might realistically sell for about 2 to 5 cents. It is still worth more than face value, but its collector appeal is very limited. For perspective, one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cent errors is the 1944 or 1945 steel penny. A handful of these were struck on leftover steel planchettes from 1943, and they are worth tens of thousands of dollars today. But the regular copper 1945D cents, while historic, are very common and inexpensive in circulated or damaged grades. Even with its low value, this coin carries historical meaning. It was minted during the final year of World War II, and it may have circulated through the hands of returning soldiers, families rebuilding their lives, or children saving coins for small treats in the post-war years. Its scratches and damage may reduce its market price, but they also tell the story of decades of use in everyday transactions. In conclusion, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D-Mint mark, showing a red color shade but in damaged condition with scratches, has a modest value of about 2 to 5 cents in today's market. While collectors do not pay premiums for damaged coins, still holds historical interest as part of the wheat penny series and as a coin tied to the World War II era. Its true worth lies less in dollars and more in the history it represents. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and with a mintage of more than 420 million coins. It is considered one of the very common issues of the late wheat cent series. By this time, the Lincoln cent design by Victor David Brenner had been in use for nearly half a century. And while millions of people carried these pennies every day, very few thought of them as future collectibles. Today, the 1956 penny is still widely available, but collectors consider its condition and overall eye appeal when determining its value. In this case, the coin is described as being in damaged condition, with some scratches, which plays a large role in assessing its market worth. Coins from 1956, like many of the later wheat cents, were heavily saved. People often kept rolls or jars of these pennies, meaning that uncirculated examples are still easy to find today. However, circulated coins in poor or damaged condition are less desirable, since there is no scarcity to make them valuable. The description notes that this coin is in damaged condition with scratches. Damage can include deep cuts, corrosion, bends, or other issues that go beyond normal wear from circulation. Scratches are especially harmful because they cut into the coin's surface and can make it unattractive to collectors. While a coin with honest wear is still collectible in lower grades, a damaged coin is often considered only a filler $20,000 something that might temporarily fill a spot in an album until a better example is found. If the coin were simply circulated but not damaged, its value would be modest. A typical 1956 Philadelphia wheat penny in fine to very fine condition usually sells for about 5 to 10 cents. In extremely fine condition, it might bring 25 to 50 cents. Higher grade uncirculated coins, especially those with full red luster, are more desirable. Mint state examples generally sell for $1 to $5. And certified high-grade coins in MS66 or MS67 red can bring hundreds at auction. But those are the best of the best, carefully preserved over the years, because this particular 1956 cent is described as damaged and scratched. Its realistic market value is quite low. In today's market, such a coin would likely be worth about 2 to 3 cents, just slightly above face value. And in some cases, dealers may not pay more than a penny for it because of the damage. Collectors tend to pass over damaged coins unless they are rare dates or error varieties. And 1956 is not considered scarce. It is important to note, however, that every coin has historical interest, even if it lacks high monetary value. This penny was minted during the mid-1950s. It's a period of post-war growth and prosperity in the United States. It may have been used in diners, gas stations, candy shops, or movie theaters, circulating through the everyday economy of the era. Its scratches and wear show that it served its purpose in commerce for decades before ending up in a collector's hand. Next up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint. And it holds an interesting place in American coinage because it was part of the very last year of the wheat cent series. In 1959, the reverse design was changed from the classic wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, in honor of the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This makes the 1958D penny one of the final issues of a design that had been in use since 1909. With a massive mintage of more than 800 million coins. However, it is one of the most common wheat pennies, and its value depends heavily on condition and overall appeal. The example being described here is in fine condition, with some scratches, which puts it into the category of a circulated but collectible coin with modest value. The obverse of the coin features Lincoln's profile with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, Liberty to the left, and the date with a D mint mark to the right. The reverse carries Victor David Brenner's classic wheat ears, framing 1 cent and United States of America. By 1958, This design had become a familiar part of everyday life. And though millions of people used these coins daily, many also saved rolls and jars of wheat pennies as the series was coming to an end. That is one reason so many 1958D cents are available to collectors today in numismatic grading. Fine condition refers to a coin that has moderate circulation but still retains clear design details. On a 1958D in fine condition, Lincoln's hair and beard will show flattening. The lettering is still sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse will be worn but visible. It is not as sharp as very fine or extremely fine examples, but it is above the lowest grades like good or about good. Fine coins are common for later wheat pennies and are generally affordable for collectors. The coin in question also has scratches, which lowers its desirability. Scratches are considered damage, not natural wear, and they reduce eye appeal. Collectors tend to avoid scratched coins unless they are rare dates or important varieties, since they can easily find better preserved examples of common coins like the 1958D, even if the coin grades as fine for detail. Scratches push its market value down toward the lower end in today's coin market. A 1958D wheat penny in fine condition without damage might sell for about 5 to 10 cents. With scratches, the value realistically falls closer to 3 to 5 cents. This is a modest premium $750 value. But it reflects the coin's abundance and the fact that higher-grade examples are easy to find. For perspective, uncirculated 1958D pennies are far more desirable. Mint-state examples often sell for $1 to $5. And high-grade certified pieces in MS66 or MS67 red can bring hundreds of dollars at auction. That dramatic jump in value shows how much condition matters for common dates. While a scratched fine coin is worth only a few cents, a pristine example can be a significant collectible. It is also worth noting that the 1958 date is famous because of the Philadelphia Mint's double die obverse variety. That extremely rare era coin, which shows strong doubling of the lettering on the obverse. It's worth tens of thousands of dollars. The Denver issue, however, does not have that same rarity. So the regular 1958D is valued primarily by condition and color, even though this specific coin has only a small monetary value, carries historical meaning. It was struck in the late 1950s during a time of rapid change in America, just before the wheat design gave way to the memorial cent. Coins like this circulated in diners, gas stations, and shops, used by families in an era when a penny could still buy a piece of candy or go toward a soda. Its scratches and wear show that it served its purpose in countless everyday transactions before finding its way into a collector's hands. Next up, the 1941 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it represents one of the very common issues from the early 1940s. More than 887 million of these coins were produced, which means it is not a rare date by itself. However, like all wheat cents, it carries historical value and collectible interest, especially because it was minted just before the United States entered World War II. The obverse shows the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, Liberty to the left, and the date 1941 to the right. The reverse features Victor David Brenner's classic wheat ears framing the denomination. 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum at the top. The example being described here is a coin with a red color shade, which originally would have indicated some of its original mint brilliance when new. Unfortunately, this coin is also described as being dirty and having scratches, which reduces its attractiveness. The red designation in coin collecting is usually reserved for uncirculated cents that retain their bright copper luster. In this case, while some reddish tone may remain, circulation and dirt have dulled its appearance. Scratches are considered damage and not just normal wear. so they further lower its market value in terms of grade. The coin is described as being in dirty, circulated condition with scratches, so it would fall into the category of good to fine condition. In such a grade, Lincoln's profile is worn down. His hair and beard details are flattened, and the lettering is clear but lacks sharpness. On the reverse, the wheat stalks would be worn, though still visible, and the surface overall would look dark or spotted because of dirt and scratches. On today's market, a 1941 Philadelphia wheat penny in this type of condition typically sells for around 5 to 10 cents. Since this coin has scratches and a dirty surface, its value is on the lower side, likely closer to 5 cents. This is because collectors can easily find better preserved examples of this date. In fact, many 1941 cents were saved in rolls and jars. So there is an abundance of higher-grade coins available. For comparison, a 1941 penny in very fine or extremely fine condition can sell for around 25 to 50 cents. In an uncirculated condition, the value usually ranges from $500 to $700 depending on eye appeal. The most valuable examples are high-grade certified red coins, which can reach hundreds of dollars at auction when graded MS-67 or better. This demonstrates how much condition affects value, even for common dates like the 1941 cent. From a historical standpoint, the 1941 wheat penny is interesting because it was minted on the eve of a major global shift. By December of that year, the United States entered World War II after the attack on Pearl Harbor. And coinage materials soon changed in the following years to accommodate wartime needs. Just 2 years later, in 1943, the Mint issued steel cents to conserve copper for the war effort. In this way, the 1941 penny reflects the last years of full copper cent production before the wartime adjustments. Though the coin in dirty, scratched condition has only a small dollar value today, it still carries significance as part of America's coinage story. It circulated during a time when a penny could still buy a piece of candy, a postcard, or contribute toward a daily newspaper. Collectors often enjoy holding even low value wheat cents because they serve as a direct connection to the past. In conclusion, the 1941 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, in dirty, circulated condition with scratches but retaining some red color shade, is valued at around 5 cents in today's market. While not rare or expensive, it is still an appealing collectible for anyone interested in building a wheat penny set or preserving a piece of American history. Next up, the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with an S mint mark is one of the post World War II issues struck at the San Francisco Mint. By this time, the wheat cent had already been in production for nearly 4 decades, and millions were being produced every year. In fact, the 1946S had a mintage of over 198 million coins, making it fairly common among collectors today. The obverse shows Lincoln's profile with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1946 with the small S mint mark beneath it. On the reverse, the familiar wheat ears frame the denomination and the words United States of America along with E pluribus unum. At the top, the example described here is in good condition, with a red color shade but also showing some scratches from circulation. In numismatic terms, a good grade means the coin has heavy wear, but the main details of the design are still visible. Lincoln's outline will be present, though his hair and facial details are worn smooth. On the reverse, the wheat stalks are faint and the lettering may be weak, but everything remains readable. Since this coin still retains some of its original red shade, it suggests that it once had stronger mint luster. But circulation and dirt have muted its shine. The scratches and dirty surface further reduce its appeal to collectors, because marks of damage are less desirable than natural wear. In today's coin market, a 1946 cess wheat penny in good condition generally carries only a small premium above face value. Typically, such a coin would sell for around 5 to 10 cents, depending on eye appeal. The scratches and dirt mean it would likely trade closer to the lower end of that range, perhaps about 5 cents. Collectors usually seek higher grades of this date, since better preserved examples are readily available. To put it in perspective, the 1946S in very fine or extremely fine condition can bring around 25 to 50 cents. In uncirculated grades, it becomes much more attractive, often selling between $200 and $500 when certified in high mint state grades, like MS66 or MS67 red. Values can soar into the hundreds of dollars, especially for coins with vibrant luster and clean surfaces. That shows the huge difference condition makes in the value of even a common wheat cent. It is also important to understand the historical context of this coin. 1946 was the first year the U.S. Mint returned fully to using copper and cents after the steel pennies of 1943 and the shell-case bronze alloy of 1944 to 1945, which recycled metal from wartime ammunition shells. The 1946S was struck in the standard bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, continuing the long tradition of wheat cents until the design change in 1959. So, while not rare, the 1946S represents the post-war return to normalcy in American coinage.